Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new 48-hour readathon where all we do is read thrillers. Are you ready to get scared? My name is Lexi and welcome back to my channel. Today is super exciting because today is the eve of one of my Patreon readathons. We basically do readathons all the time and it's fun because I love readathons so much. This weekend I am doing an exclusive readathon with my top 2 tiers, the Golden Key members and the Ink and Quill Club, and we are going to be reading thrillers for 48 hours. These are the graphics that I created for the readathon. I'm so excited. I kind of update the colors and the theme a little bit every single time. But basically, I'm just gonna be telling you my mood TBR for this video. Now, obviously, I'm only doing this for 48 hours, I think. 48 hours is not a lot of time, and I will be sleeping. So I don't actually expect to read more than like 1 book, but I would like to read 3. Is that possible? I mean, it is for other booktubers, so maybe it will be for me, who knows? But my goal for the weekend is 3. However, I am literally the world's most indecisive person, and so my mood TBR looks like this. There's a lot of books. I decided though I was gonna kind of go through my mood TBR and just kind of show you them. I'm gonna be really quick. I'm just gonna give you like 1 sentence per book because number 1, I haven't read the book, so I don't actually know what they're about. And number 2, I'm only gonna get to 3, so I don't wanna spend too much time on the TBR, but I wanted to share with you my mood TBR for the weekend. Okay, so these are gonna be kind of like rapid fire book summaries, so they might suck. But the first book on my mood TBR is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. This is about a family where everyone has killed someone. So the next one is called Mother Thing, and this is by Ainsley Hogarth. I think this is actually considered a literary horror. And all I know about this is that I think it involves a mother-in-law who somehow becomes a ghost and haunts her daughter-in-law. The next one, I don't think I'm gonna get to because it's so thick, but I really wanna read it. It's by Leanne Moriarty and it's called Big Little Lies. And this is like a suburban housewife murder, basically. And I just wanna read it because I think it's gonna be fun. The next one I think is also considered like a literary thriller. It's called Pet. This is by Katherine Chitticky. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. This was published in New Zealand and it has gotten such rave reviews. So I think it's gonna be really, really good. But it's about a girl named Justine who is drawn to her teacher and wants to be the teacher's pet. I think somehow there's like a scandal happening at the school. The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. Holly Jackson is an incredible murder mystery author. She wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I freaking loved and scared me so much. And this book is about Belle, and Belle's mom, Rachel Price, actually disappears. And then I think there's like a true crime documentary that's being made about the mom, and then she randomly reappears. And she has all of these wild tales and things that she says that happened to her as to why she disappeared. But like the longer she is in Belle's life, the more Belle is very like cautious and scared of her mom, and she doesn't trust what she's saying. Next up is a short little horror by T. King Fisher, and it's called A House with Good Bones. It's about a person who goes to see their mom and the mom seems off and weird things in the house are happening. I think it's supposed to be like a horror, gothic lit, but also haunted house vibes. Next is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. This is about a group of people in a retirement home who try to solve true crime cases, and then one day a murder happens like across the street and they decide to tackle the case. Next up, we've got The Sunset Years of Agnes Sharp by Leonie Swan. This sounds incredible. It's about a murder that is discovered by this old retirement home. Apparently, all of these people are hiding a body in the shed. And so they're like, let's blame the body in the shed. And let's say that that person actually was responsible for the murder that actually is taking place here. I don't know anything else, but I read that in the synopsis and I was like, that sounds incredible. Next up is Looking Glass Sound by Catriona Ward. This is a book that takes place in New England, my favorite, in a little cozy cottage by the sea. And there's a writer, and as the writer is writing things, weird, strange, mysterious, creepy things start happen in this cottage where they are presiding alone. presumably. Next up is The Fury by Alex Michaelides. And this is about a group of friends who I guess go with their best friend who is an ex-movie star to a private island, and then somebody is murdered. And then I have these 3 books. Now these 3 books are actually the books that I really want to start with, like one of them, but I can't decide. So I actually asked my Instagram followers which book that I should start with. I don't know yet, but I will insert the actual like results of what I should start with tomorrow. But here are the 3. So the first one is Shirley Jackson's We Have Always Lived in the Castle. This is a creepy little gothic tale about a family of potential murders and what happens when a cousin visits them at their estate. Next up is My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. This is a book about a couple that kills people and the husband is convinced that his wife is a serial killer. And then the last one I have here on my Kindle, and it is My Sister the Serial Killer, and this is by Oyenka Braithwaite, I think, and this is about a girl whose sister is a serial killer. Those are the options. I have no idea which one I'm gonna start with. I'm leaving that up to my Instagram followers. So I'll let you know tomorrow, and I guess we can find out what book I read then. That's it. That is my mood TBR. I am so excited for the readathon. So I guess I will see you tomorrow morning right before it starts. Bye. Good morning, everyone, and happy day number 1 of the 48-hour murder mystery thriller readathon. It is 10:45, which means my first like sprints with my patrons are going to start in 15 minutes, and that is when officially I can start the timer. Well, it's not like a timer, but you know, the 48 hours starts at 11. These are the books that I might start. The first one, My Sister the Serial Killer. The next one is We Have Always Lived in the Castle. Is that right? Yeah. And then the other option is My Lovely Wife. I did ask Instagram to pick my first read for the 48-hour readathon. So let's see what they picked. How do I even do that? Okay, so the story's been up for almost 21 hours. Okay, it's a pretty clear-cut winner with 245 votes. 50% of everyone voted for We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson? Yes, by Shirley Jackson. This is gonna be the first book, and I actually think that's like the perfect book to start with because it's short. I don't know how many pages this is. Let me see. It is 141 pages. I think that's like a great length for a readathon, so could not be happier with the results. I'm really excited. I do want to read the other 2 as well, but this is going to be the first one that I start with, and I can't wait. I've always wanted to read this book. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up, send out the links to my patrons for today's live show, and yeah, I guess get to reading. Also, I have a little matcha next to me. Look at how cute this is. Stop it. Like, I'm so excited. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start sprinting with my patrons and start reading, and I will catch up with you very soon. Bye. Hello, besties. Okay, so the reading sprints went by so fast. I love doing reading sprints with my patron members. They're so fun. I didn't read as much because I was talking a lot. 37 pages, not too bad. Okay, maybe kind of bad. Like maybe I should be reading a little bit faster, but 37 pages. And I have to say, as far as my update is concerned, I freaking love this book. The language is so beautiful. Shirley Jackson, girl can write. Like, it is so good. It's very lyrical, but not necessarily overly done with the prose. And the tension and atmosphere that she is building is so good. I love the description specifically of like the townspeople and of our main protagonist, whose name is Katherine. She's dark, okay? She's really dark, and she really cannot stand these townspeople. I'm kind of sort of starting to get, I think, maybe to the point of like why the townspeople hate her and why she hates the townspeople. There's this really uncomfortable and awkward situation happening where like randomly a neighbor from the town came to visit her sister Constance, and her neighbor brought like one of her friends, and Katherine or Mary Cat is like, why are these people in our house? Like, everyone hates us and we hate everybody. Why are they here? And they're bringing up this really weird incident that happened years and years ago that is bad. And I don't want to like say what it is because I feel like that spoils a lot, and it's not listed at all on the synopsis. It is dark and it is weird, and I'm loving, okay? Like, I'm living and I'm loving for this book. Here is my main conundrum right now. It is 2:30, I want to say. I feel like I will be happier once I've finished a full book. So I kind of want to do that right now. However, I also really want an upload to happen on Sunday, and I really need to edit my video. And I have a lot of energy right now, so I'm trying to figure out, should I put my energy into editing the video or should I read the book? And the answer is, I don't know. I think I'm gonna read for like an hour, and then I'm probably gonna make myself some dinner, and then the rest, like I'll do an early dinner, and then the rest of the night I will spend maybe 2 or 3 hours on the video, and then I'll read until I fall asleep. I think that's good. I think that's a good plan. Yes, maybe, I don't actually know. But for right now, I am going to read, and I do have a snack and a drink. Let me show you. I have some little mango slices. I feel like that'll be really yummy to snack on. And then I've never tried this before. It's an Olipop, and it's the tropical punch. I've never had this, but I feel like that'll be fun. Okay, let's try the Olipop. You ready? Cheers! And again, this is tropical punch. Ooh, I love it. So I'm gonna read for like an hour, and then I'll edit for an hour, and then we'll make dinner together. And I will update you in a bit. Okay, bye. Hello, friends. If you hear banging at all, that is our dryer, which is super, super old, but it does the job, okay? It does the job. I just made my dinner, and I'm really excited about it, actually. I was gonna go out and like buy some stuff, but then it started to storm, and I was like, I don't wanna do that. So I just kind of like worked with what I had at home, and I made a lemon butter pasta. I actually like put these mussels in. So these ones, this is what it looks like. It's like a little tin of mussels. I added that, and then I also cut up a little tomato, and then I added some Parmesan, and then I topped it with dill. Look at how good it looks, and it tastes so good too. So now I'm gonna go ahead and eat my dinner, and then I'll keep reading. Okay. Hi, just like a super quick reading update on We Have Always Lived in the Castle. What the f is going on? I'm not even joking you. I thought on page 37 that I knew what was happening, and I was like, oh my God, amazing. And then I didn't know what was happening. I was wrong. Like, this random cousin comes in. I think, like, it's not being said, but I think he like basically wants to just take over this house. I think he might even want to marry his cousin Constance so that he has access to everything. Although maybe he doesn't have to do that, because maybe he's already her cousin. This is gross. Like, I hope there's no marriage thing, but it kind of feels like it is. That kind of feels like Constance and him are like, oh, like they're flirting with the idea of being more than cousins. Okay, that is not said on the text. That is me. Okay, so like, let's hope that I'm reading that wrong. The thing is with this book, I keep thinking I know what's happening, and then I'm wrong. I'm not gonna say what, but basically the older uncle says something about one of the characters, and the cousin, the guy cousin, is like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And if you've read the book, you probably know what I'm referring to. And it's not making a lot of sense. It's not making a lot of sense right now, because I'm like, that would be kind of impossible, because we've seen a lot of other, anyways, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't know what is happening though. That is my update. My other update is that for dessert, I'm having a delicious lemon yogurt. I know that doesn't sound like dessert. Trust me, this particular, I don't even know what it's called, but this particular yogurt brand is so bougie, and it tastes literally like a lemon custard or something. It's the best thing in the whole entire world. Also, the pasta that I had, solid, 10 out of 10. But yeah, that is my update. I should be working on my video, but honestly, I think I just want to finish the book first, and then I'll work on it. So hopefully that's not a bad idea, but okay, sounds good. I will chat with you later. Hello, friends. I don't know if you can hear, but we are in the middle of a massive, massive storm, which in my opinion is perfect for like reading murder mysteries. Now that it's storming, I am officially taking a break to finally edit my video. It's like 9:30. I think I'm only gonna edit for like 2 hours today, and then I'm gonna try to wake up early and finish the rest tomorrow. But I do have an update. I did in fact finish We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I was gonna say Shirley MacLaine. This book was so tense, so atmospheric, so just like wrought with tension. One thing that I thought was really interesting was that not everything was fully explained. You kind of understood what was happening, but you didn't really understand all of the reasonings for like the motives of characters. It was interesting because I feel like if you read this book, read it more for like the experience and the vibes and like the overall like mood of it, and less for brilliant plot twists that are divulging all all of these like interesting things that you just didn't see coming, because I don't really think that's the point of this book. The book was really more just an eerie, interesting book. It does have like quite a few layers to it. I have a lot of questions. Like I finished the book and now I have so many more questions than I did even before starting it. And I can't say the questions because I feel like it would spoil so many things. I feel like it's a 5-star. I also started My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. I don't have it next to me. It's about a couple who kill people. Okay, here's what I was kind of expecting. I was kind of expecting like For Your Own Good vibes by Samantha Downing. Loved that book. It was about a professor who wanted to teach his students lessons, but ethically, like the way he went about teaching the lessons was not good. Okay, but he like justified everything that he did, and it was an interesting read because you kind of understood his motives. I think that's like interesting, like learning about the mind of like the person, right? And also it was like a fascinating plot twist after plot twist that was happening. This book so far, I've been reading it / listening to the audio for a bit. It seems pretty cut and dry. It really just seems like these two people enjoy killing people. And not to be super negative, but like I don't care. I don't know if you knew this, but like I don't like murder mysteries because I like murder. No, murder's scary and also bad. You know what I mean? I enjoy trying to solve it. I enjoy trying to figure out the motive. What caused somebody to do this? What juicy secrets are happening? Like what drama is not being said that we get to unravel? And even in the case when we are leaning into the bad guy's perspective, my God, that was scary. Did you see that lightning? But even when we are like leaning into the bad guy's perspective, I like hearing how they are morally justifying things. But as I'm reading this book, it just seems like they like killing people. And I don't know, I'm like not enjoying it because like I feel bad. I feel like in a lot of thrillers and murder mysteries, you're really removed from the people who have actually been, you know, and so you can really focus more on the plot and like the twists and like the danger of being close to the villain and who is the villain. But in this case, we're just like straight up hearing about people who are being murdered and tortured. And I'm just like, I don't know, like I'm not personally enjoying it as much as I really was hoping to. And I also just don't find it as intriguing. But the thing is, I've heard that the plot twists in this are super, super good. And so many of my best friends, like a lot of people who I love, a lot of my favorite book reviewers, and also a lot of my really close friends really loved this book and they like loved the ending. So I think I just need to keep pushing through, and then I'm hoping to really like love the plot twist and ending. So I think that's it for tonight's update. I will see you in the morning. Bye. Hello friends. It is the next day and it's still raining. It is a rainy weekend. And actually I'm about to start my next round of reading sprints with my patrons, but I just realized that I haven't updated you yet. So I'm gonna give you some updates. Okay, so I have like 5 minutes before my live show is live and I need to like go upstairs and get everything ready. So this will be a really, really quick update. But do you remember how last night I was like, I'm just not feeling it. I feel like it's kind of boring. I don't really wanna learn all the details of people who just like to kill. I was wrong, okay? I was wrong. I was so wrong. That's how it starts. And like, it's a very, in my opinion, it's kind of a slower start. And it kind of feels like that's gonna be the main focus of the book. I'm on page 40, well, I don't know what page I'm on, but I'm on chapter 48, which is right there. So I've read all that. I read a bunch of that last night. I stayed up kind of late. The book is getting so good. Our main guy, whose name now I don't remember, of course, but he's thinking of his wife and he is kind of starting to question all of her like little things, like all of these things that are not adding up. And I don't know what is going to be a spoiler, but things with his kids, things with the people that they know in their neighborhood, like all these random things, and then all these random facts about her. He's kind of being like, wait a minute, what? I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm not gonna say anything else now that we're past a point, but now I'm like, oh, this is the plot. I thought the plot was just killing people. That to me is uninteresting. And also really like on a serious note, sad. But like fictionally, this is the plot now. And this plot of like nothing is as it seems and maybe his wife is like really not who she seems, I'm like very intrigued. Like the way it's written, I'm hooked. So the plan today is to go upstairs and to read as much as possible for the reading sprints. I'm really, really hoping, I don't think I'll finish the book during the reading sprints, but I'm hoping to almost finish the book. And like, I like the book so much now. So I'm super, super excited about it. And then also, unless it's like a really bad storm, I really want to get something to bake because it's just been like a rainy, cozy weekend and I'm in the mood to bake, like maybe a scone or something. I don't know. I do have another update, but I'm going to update you on the first sprint because I'm checking how long I've been recording this and literally I go live in like less than 2 minutes. So I have got to jog upstairs, get everything set, and then hang out with my patrons, which I'm super excited for. So I will update you the next part of the update that I was about to say right now in just a second during our first sprint. Okay, bye. Hi friends. Okay, so we are in the middle of our first reading sprint and I just wanted to update you on what I was about to update you, but then I was like running out of time. And that is I have made a decision. So last night I stayed up kind of late reading this book, right? And then this morning I had to wake up really early to edit a video. And that video took so long to edit. But before I started to edit it, I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna set a timer. When I'm done editing, whatever time I took to edit, I'm gonna add at the end of the readathon. So the readathon ends at 11, but then I have like a bridal shower. When I'm back from the bridal shower or the next day, I'm going to add on the time that it took to edit the video because I was so sad. I was like, I really, really want to edit a video for my channel, but I know it's going to take away from the amount of books that I can read for this weekend. And so according to my timer, it's almost 6 hours. It was 5 hours and 57 minutes. And technically I still also do have to do like a little bit of work, but I don't think I'll add to that. Like maybe I'll just do some work after I get back from the bridal shower tomorrow. At the end of the 48-hour readathon, I'm going to add back on 6 hours because I took 6 hours away. Does that make sense? Anyways, so that is my update. Now I'm gonna go ahead and continue reading My Lovely Wife with all of my patrons. I'm having a great time. It's storming outside, it's raining. It's like the perfect day to read scary books with your friends. And yeah, I'm having a good time. Okay, bye. Hello, besties. Okay, so it is officially 6 o'clock. It's 6:16. The sprints were so much fun. I just like love hanging out with my patrons so much. I love the reading sprints every single week. I always look forward to them. And I got a lot of reading done actually, so I'm so happy. I am officially on page 316, chapter 63, and I have to say, I feel so dumb for ever doubting that this was gonna be a 5-star. Like, it's so good right now. I can't see it not being a 5-star. It has this much left, and like the plot twists, while I was doing the reading sprints, actually people were pointing out like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get the book just because of your expressions, because I was shocked. Like as I was reading, I was literally completely and utterly shocked, and I love this. Like I love this so much. It's not necessarily that the plot twist isn't that hard to see. It's more that it's really well done. So like maybe I had an inkling of what was happening early on, but the way it's written is very intriguing, very well done, very fast paced, great. It's so perfect. And I'm glad too, because I was like kind of scared that during the first portion of this, I was gonna be bored and like not like it at all, but that is just not the case. I really, really like this book so far, and I am sad that I'm not currently reading it now. So since the last time we spoke, I did the reading sprints, and then I also made myself some pasta. I made it with like these spicy mussels tonight, but basically it's the exact same recipe as yesterday's. That's like my new favorite pasta meal. So why are we in the car? I have to pick up a gift for one of my besties who lives in town. Her bridal shower is tomorrow, and I meant to do this all week long. Hopefully we can find something. If not, I know that she's also registered on Amazon, I think, but I really wanted to bring her a gift. So we're gonna go to Target, we're gonna see if anything is left, and then hopefully we can like pick something up, and then we'll come back and then we will keep reading. Anyways, let's go to Target. Okay. Hello friends. I am so happy to report, first of all, it's about to be 8 o'clock. I decided, like I came home, I got my friend a waffle maker. It's right next to me in my car. And I just decided to stay in my car and finish the book. So I finished the book, 5 stars, for sure, 5 stars. Without telling you anything about how it ends, can I just say that now I'm really confused? But like in a good way. This was great. This was great. This was a 5-star read. I can't believe in the beginning I was even doubting it. Weird, twisted, scary, messed up, but like in an interesting way. I like it when books are interesting. And this was interesting. This was fascinating. I couldn't put it down. I'm so glad I picked it up. I was so afraid I was not gonna like it. I loved it. I thought it was so good. It was weird, it was scary, it was creepy. Also, you'll be able to guess like the main plot twist. I don't think that's really the point. I think the point is just in how Samantha Downing does it and like the writing behind it, the story, like it just worked really well and I really enjoyed it. And so there we go. 2 books down and it's only 8 o'clock. So I'm really, really happy. I don't know what I'm gonna reach for next because I do have on my Kindle My Sister the Serial Killer, and I do wanna read that. But also, now that I've read this book, which was literally all about a serial killer, I might need like a break from a serial killer for a second. Like I might do like a palate cleanser. I don't know if I have like a small book that I can maybe like finish faster, or maybe even a book that I can just like start and do halfway and then jump to the other book. But I'm gonna see. I'm gonna look at my TBR and kind of try to figure out what I want to read next, because I do want to read My Sister the Serial Killer, but I think I might start that in the morning or something, or maybe like I'll read that for my extra bonus 6 hours, because now that I've read this, I think I might need something either a little bit lighter or just like a little bit different. So that's my update. 2 books down. I'm gonna go inside and see if I can find my next read. Yeah, and then I guess make some tea and we'll get to reading. This has been a great weekend so far. I am so happy. Good morning, my loves. Well, okay, it's not morning. It's technically 12:16. It's been a couple of days. It's been like 3 days since I last updated you. So I didn't update you on Sunday because Sunday I got up and I basically just did stuff for my video that was going out. And then I also jumped into reading sprints with my patron members. And then as soon as that ended, I immediately had to get ready and go see my bestie for her bridal shower. And it was so much fun. I had the best time ever. It was lovely. Like I got to meet all of her other friends and they were all so nice. And then I got to see all of my friends who were also her friends, and we all hung out, and it was just really fun. So I didn't get like any more reading done that day. But let me give you a little bit of a reading update. So Sunday with my patrons, I started this book, which is the Thursday Murder Book Club, because even though I really wanted to immediately jump into My Sister the Serial Killer, I needed a little bit of a break after My Lovely Wife, even though that was like a 5-star read. And I wanted something a little cozier, and so I did this one. And I have to say, the vibes are so cozy. If you scare easy, this is a great book. This is what I would personally consider to be a cozy murder mystery. It's very like cheeky, it's very funny, and it reads a lot more like I'm watching a murder mystery TV show. I was saying with my patrons, and I will have to say now, I'm gonna put this down, that I do feel like there are maybe like too many characters. So we've got 4 main characters who are like the main characters and who are part of the Thursday Murder Club. I feel like that's okay. But like between the police officers, the suspects, everyone that they've come in contact with, everyone that they're interviewing, and then all of their perspectives, it is like a lot. And I think when you're first starting this book, it can be really hard to keep track of every person because they all kind of blend in together at first. However, I will say that I kind of feel more familiar with the characters now. The book is just following these 4 people. There's 2 women and 2 men, Abraham, Ron, Elizabeth, and Joyce, and they all are part of a retirement home. And I think like Abraham used to be a psychiatrist. Ron, was he a boxer, or was it just that his son was a boxer? I don't remember. And then Joyce was a nurse, and then Elizabeth, I think, used to be a detective or something. And so they all use like their special knowledge and abilities to kind of crack these murders. And then a murder like happens around where they live, and they're trying to solve it. And they're very involved. I kind of thought that they were just going to be solving this like in their little retirement home, but that is not the case. They are like getting up, they're doing interviews, they're traveling, they're talking to the police force. These people are like very involved in this murder that's happening. It's very cheeky. I will say that I think the best part of this are the characters, which is why I kind of wish that there were less characters, because I would love to focus more on like the main 4. The actual crime, I'm not interested in at all. I think maybe because they are more removed from what's actually happening and they just want to solve it for fun. I don't really care about the crime. The book is good, and I think it is a good palate cleanser, but I would say as far as the plot is concerned, I don't know if I care as much about like the actual plot. My goal today is to finish this book, and then if possible, I would like to at least start this book, My Sister the Serial Killer, but really I'd like to finish it. I do have a book club live show discussion with my patrons, so I'll be pausing the timer so that I can kind of like prep for everything for that, and then have like a lovely little live show with them. We're discussing a great book. We're discussing The Unmaking of June Farrow, and then afterwards I'll just pick up reading. But today we are finishing the vlog. We are finishing the 48-hour readathon. I remember taking a screenshot of how much time I had left. We're just gonna say 6 hours. That is gonna be the goal. I am gonna use a little timer. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my glasses, get on like a cozy little sweatshirt. And I think I haven't been drinking a lot of coffee, but it feels like a coffee day. So I think I might actually start today out at a cafe and then come home and continue basically reading. It's just gonna be a cozy day though. The whole point of today is feeling cozy, finishing the books. I also think today I might be baking. It's like perfect weather for some tea and scones. So we're gonna do cozy cafe, tea and scones, lots of cozy murder mysteries, and a thriller. It's gonna be great. Without further ado though, let's get everything together and let's go to a cafe. It is officially 7:41 and I just had my live show with my patrons for The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. This was so fun. This was such a great one to discuss. The discussions, I typically try to keep them at an hour, but this one went over by like 40 minutes. It was almost a 2-hour discussion because it was such a great book to discuss. Now, before I did the live show, I did end up finishing the Thursday Murder Book Club, and I would say it is a very solid, it's like over 3 stars, but I don't know, maybe I'd give it like a 3.5 stars. I think it was like a very solid choice. If you love cozy murder mysteries, I feel like this is such a great recommendation. I loved the characterizations. I loved the dialogue. I loved the humor. There was so much that I think the book did very, very well and that I really enjoyed. I think the reason it maybe wasn't like a 4 or 5 star for me was really my fault because I should have read the synopsis. I read that there were friends in a retirement home that wanted to crack cases, like murder mysteries. And that was all I needed. I was like, oh, that sounds so good. But really I should have looked into the actual premise because there are some murder mystery plot lines that just don't interest me as much. For some reason, I'm not as interested when the police are as involved. I don't know why. And I'm also not as interested in murder mysteries that don't have to do with interesting like domestic reasons. Like there was secretly an affair happening or there was an inheritance involved or I don't know, like something where it really involves more, I want to say like revenge or like romance, things like that. Cause I think that's so fascinating to like read about. This one, well, I don't even remember if it says in the synopsis, but all I'll say is that I just wasn't as interested, I think, in like the person who died or really like the setup or really the reasons. I didn't enjoy the plot quite as much as I wanted to for that reason. I also felt like while all of the setups and potential suspects and things were interesting, there were too many long tangents per person. Like if there was a person who was a suspect, we basically learned their whole life story. And every person was really interesting, but after a while, I just wanted to find out like who murdered who and why. I know that it sounds kind of like, well, duh, like that's part of a murder mystery, but usually you just clear up a person because you find out their alibi and then you move on. But in this case, we were learning like big, mega, random, really emotional and touching sad stories in people's lives that had nothing to do with the murder. Or like maybe they had a tiny piece to do with the murder, but like we didn't need to go into it quite at that depth. And I think that's one of the reasons why the book is so interesting is because we had all of these compelling characters, but kind of towards more like the end, I I was just getting a little bit less interested in finding out all of these, you know, side plots and things like that. So, but it was still an enjoyable read and a great palate cleanser, and I'm glad that I read it. Now, I did stop the timer because I was doing a live show, and the live show is 2 hours. We are at 3 hours and 55 minutes, so basically 4 hours. So I have a little less than 2 hours, I think, or like maybe it's exactly 2 hours left in the readathon. And with those 2 hours, I'm going to be starting My Sister the Serial Killer, and I'm very excited to start it. So let's go downstairs and start our last read. Hi besties, just a little bit of an update. I just hit 5 hours right now, which means I have less than an hour to go, so I'm not going to hit the time frame to finish this book, but I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on it. I'm on, well, I don't know what page because like it's on my Kindle, but I'm at 42%. So far, the book is actually really reminding me of, have you ever seen the movie 27 Dresses? That movie is about a girl who is always a bridesmaid, never a bride, and she's desperately in love with a doctor, a pediatrician, I think a pediatrician, and her sister in the movie isn't like a great person. The main girl, I don't remember her name, but like the main girl is desperately in love with the doctor and doesn't want the doctor to meet her sister, and then he meets her sister, he falls in love, and the movie is really painful to watch because the whole time you're just watching this girl suffer because her sister is the one that the doctor wants and not her. And it's like actually really, really sad. I've seen it only once because it like wasn't very enjoyable to me because it was so sad. This is reading a lot like that movie. It's more interesting because obviously like we know from the title, right? My sister is a serial killer. So it opens up great because it opens up with Cordy, who is our main protagonist and our narrator. She is helping clean up a murder that her sister has just committed. And her sister says that it was self-defense and that the person that she was dating was getting aggressive with her. And so she's helping her sister clean up. But it kind of just like that movie, this girl's in love with the doctor that she works with, and she does not want her beautiful, gorgeous sister to show up at work because she knows what'll happen. And of course, inevitably, her sister shows up at work, and this guy immediately falls in love with her. And it's just like actually really sad because you can tell from their interactions that he really wasn't very interested in her. He was just kind of like being nice to her. And then immediately, like, everything shifts when he sees this girl's sister, and he's just like desperately, like he wants to date this girl's sister no matter what. I think the most interesting aspect is that she really will do anything to help her sister because she loves her sister, including like cleaning up dead bodies. But it is very hard to read because I feel bad for her. I'm sad. It's so painful to see how much she loves this guy, or like how much she is just enamored with this guy, and how he is now enamored with her sister. But for some reason, like, I didn't think that I would be as sad reading about the interactions with the doctor and her sister, but I am. Like, I feel bad for her. It's kind of like heartbreaking that the doctor never really gave her any notice, and now he's just completely in love with her sister. That's where I'm at. I'm at 42%. I'm gonna keep reading. The next time I see you, I think, will be like my final update for how far I got in the book. I will catch up with you as soon as I am finished with, I guess, the readathon, because like I only have less than an hour left. Okay, bye. Hello besties, I am here to conclude the vlog. Oh, I don't have my phone. It's 9:30 and I'm actually stopping the timer about 20-ish minutes before like the actual 48-hour readathon is supposed to end. So I guess I'm ending it a little bit early, but I'm ending it early because I think I'm going to put down this book for a little while. I don't know if I'm going to do like what I call a soft DNF, which means I'm not going to finish the book, but maybe I'll come back to it like at a later date, or if I just am not going to pick up the book again. So I feel like I should explain this a little bit. This is a really, really well-written book. It's very like punchy. I really, really like the writing style of the author so much. And I feel like the premise of this is actually so fascinating. But I have never read a book that has made me, like, my stomach hurts. I feel like really sad. This character I don't know, like her mom is always taking her sister's side. She is mistreated by like everyone she works with. Her sister literally takes advantage of her to the point where she is making her clean up the murders, the mass murders that she does. And the one thing that she really liked was this doctor. Her sister kind of knew that she liked the doctor too, and she was like, who cares? Like, that guy just wants a pretty face. And she's right. Like, the doctor now sucks, I think, in my mind. But I'm just sad. Like, the whole book was just about how she just does everything for her sister, but nobody is nice to her. And how the one guy that she's liked for a while just is like in love with her sister. I can't read it anymore. Like, I feel so physically ill. Like, I feel sad. I would also say that I maybe miscalculated. I don't think this is a thriller. I think this is more of like a literary fiction. Maybe it has like thriller elements because of the serial killer, but I feel like it's mostly a conversation on like sisterhood and the links that will go for people in our family who we love, things like that. So I just want you to know the book is well written. The book is well paced. It's easy to fly through, but I'm not gonna read it anymore because it's making me really sad. So that's the first review of this book. Sadly, DNF got to 60%. Next up, I read The Thursday Murder Club, and this is by Richard Osman. This was a 3.5 star, I think. It was a really cute little cozy mystery. Next up, I read a book that was insanely good, My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing, 5 star. I didn't think I was gonna love it, and then I don't know, like halfway through, I just could not put it down. And then finally, I read We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, a super, super short little creepy gothic horror, which I also gave 5 stars. So in the vlog, we have 2 5 stars, we have 1 3.5 star, and then we have 1 DNF, but that was it. Thank you so much for joining me for the 48-hour readathon. I had the best time ever with my patrons. I had the best time ever reading these scary little books. And my question of the day to you is, what is one thriller or horror or murder mystery book that you have read that you recommend to me? And I think the emoji of the day, let's do like something spooky. Let's do like a little ghost. That is it though. Thank you guys so much for watching. A big, big thank you to all of my patrons, especially the Ink and Quill Club. All of your names will be down below in the description. Thank you so much for being the executive producers of every video that I create. And I think that's it. Thanks again for watching. And until next time, my loves, keep your head in the clouds and your heart in a book, and I will chat with you very soon. Bye!